of these guys built a lake he wasn't allowed to build, got fined $3 million for it, and then threw a party in the lake anyway. Another one's landlord is the actual king of England. And one of them has a kitchen with 4 ovens because the man simply refuses to stop eating. Welcome to the world of footballers and their houses, where the money stops making sense and the stories get even better. 1. Cristiano Ronaldo, the private island. We start with the only player here who didn't buy a mansion, he bought a slice of an island.
I cannot go any part of this planet Earth that nobody recognize me.
At the end of 2025, Cristiano Ronaldo and Georgina picked up 2 villas at Najima, a Ritz-Carlton resort, sitting in the Red Sea about 26 kilometers off the coast of Saudi Arabia. The only way onto this island is by private boat or seaplane. Most people lock their front door. Ronaldo bought an island you can't even drive to. He didn't settle for one villa either. He took a 3-bedroom for family time and a separate 2-bedroom for when it's just the 2 of them, around $9 million for both. Most people agonize over buying one house. Ronaldo bought 2 on an island as a casual weekend upgrade. And the design is just the opposite of what you expect from him. No gold, no flash. Just stone, soft tones, and an ocean in every window. For the most famous man on the planet, the ultimate flex turned out to be somewhere nobody can find him. 2. Lionel Messi. He bought the neighbors out. Messi didn't buy luxury, he bought silence. For most of his career, home was Castelldefels, a quiet coastal town outside Barcelona. He picked it up in 2009, right as he won his first Ballon d'Or, and quietly turned it into a private family compound worth around $7 million today. Then there's the neighbors. They were noisy, renting the place out to loud tenants. So Messi, 8 Ballon d'Ors, greatest of all time, solved it the only way a man like that can. He bought their house. He didn't file a complaint, he didn't knock on the door, he just purchased the problem. Peace restored. These days his main home is in Fort Lauderdale since the move to Inter Miami. But that Barcelona house will always be the one where he ended a noise dispute with a property deal. 3. Neymar, the mansion that got him fined. From the quietest man on the list to the loudest. Neymar's mansion sits in Mangaratiba near Rio, inside a gated community they call the Beverly Hills of Brazil. He bought it for roughly $10 million and turned it into a theme park, a tennis court, a beach volleyball court, a helipad so he can land a helicopter in the back garden, and a private dock for his $8 million yacht. Most people have a shed at the bottom of the garden. Neymar has a place to park a helicopter and a super yacht. But the house itself isn't the story. The lake is. Neymar decided his mansion needed an artificial lake and built it without permission. Authorities showed up, told him to stop, and fined him over $3 million. So what did Neymar do? He finished the lake, threw a party, and went for a swim in it, while the embargo was still on. $3 million in fines, and he used it as a pool. That right there is the most Neymar thing that has ever happened. 4. Erling Haaland, the house that eats. Erling Haaland opened the doors to his 6-bedroom Cheshire mansion on his own YouTube channel, and the whole place is a performance lab disguised as a home. The heart of it is the kitchen, and the kitchen has 4 ovens. 4. The average family makes do with 1. Haaland has the oven capacity of a small pizzeria, all to feed a single Norwegian who eats around 6,000 calories a day. He runs his house like a restaurant with exactly 1 very large, very hungry customer. From there, it's a private gym where the club therapist works on him, an outdoor sauna, and a red light therapy room for recovery. Everything engineered for goals. And then, standing guard in the corner of that ultra-serious kitchen, there's a giant teddy bear. Discipline, science, 4 ovens, and a teddy bear. That's Haaland in one house. 5. Kylian Mbappe, waking up to the Eiffel Tower. Mbappe didn't go for an isolated mega mansion, he went for a view. His penthouse sits right in the heart of Paris, the city he grew up dreaming about, reported around $8 million. And the highlight isn't a room, it's the window. Because from his bedroom, Mbappe can see the Eiffel Tower. Most kids from the Paris suburbs grow up looking at it from a distance. This one bought a place where it's the first thing he sees in the morning. He's at Real Madrid now, but that Paris penthouse with the Eiffel Tower in the window, that's the one that means something. 6. Karim Benzema, the quiet power move. Karim Benzema's place in La Moraleja, one of Madrid's most exclusive neighborhoods, looks less like a footballer's house and more like a small embassy. It's all built on one word: space. With a semi-Olympic pool in the garden and a private prayer room tucked inside, a quiet nod to his faith. Valued around $6 million. What the brochure won't tell you is that Benzema's mansion has been broken into more than once while he was out on the pitch playing. Think about it. The entire world knows exactly where he is and that he's busy for the next 90 minutes. The better he plays, the longer the burglars have. Even at the very top, that's a trade-off. 7. Wayne Rooney, the Morrisons mansion.
We used to go into games and people just look at him in his hole like that. Is that him? Is that Wayne Rooney?
Wayne Rooney didn't buy a mansion. He built a small town. High Lake Manor in Cheshire sits on 40 acres and a cost reported of $25 million to build from the ground up, with his own full-size football pitch, a man cave, a golf simulator, a cinema, and 2 fishing lakes, because Wayne likes to fish. The locals never let him forget how it looked going up either. While it was being built, locals looked at the giant boxy white building going up and started calling it the Morrisons, as in the supermarket. And the football pitch has its own punchline. He wanted floodlights to play at night. The council said no because it's out in the countryside. So Wayne Rooney has a professional pitch he's not allowed to switch the lights on for. $25 million. And he still got told off by the council. 8. Riyad Mahrez, 10 times bigger and safer. When Riyad Mahrez moved into Saudi Arabia, he and his wife Taylor Ward went house hunting on camera for the Married to the Game series, and ended up in a giant Saudi mansion with 8 bedrooms and a private lift inside the house. When they got it, the place was completely empty. No kitchen, no furniture, so they've been building it out room by room ever since. But the line that stuck with me had nothing to do with the lift. Taylor said the house is 10 times bigger than the one they had in England, and for the first time, she actually feels safe. Back in Cheshire, they've been burgled, and she used to beg Riyad not to buy her nice watches in case it made them a target. Now she can finally wear them. Sometimes the most expensive thing a footballer's house can offer isn't the pool, it's a good night's sleep. 9. David Beckham, from the sky to the sea. David Beckham doesn't do one house, he does a portfolio. The one everybody knows is his Miami penthouse, high up in the twisting Zaha Hadid Tower on the waterfront, with swimming pools on the 61st floor and a helipad on the roof. Because taking the lift all the way down to swim is apparently too much effort. He bought it in 2020 for just under $20 million. And then he did the most Beckham thing imaginable. At the end of last year, he sold it for nearly $25 million, walking away with about $5 million in profit, then traded up into a waterfront mansion on Miami Beach's North Bay Road, reported at over $70 million. Most people lose money on the house they live in. Beckham made $5 million just by living somewhere nice for a few years. Even when he leaves richer. 10. Sadio Mane. The best thing he built isn't a house. Sadio Mane gave a full tour of his Riyadh mansion to Rio Ferdinand, and the most important part isn't upstairs, it's in the basement. A full recovery zone with an ice bath, a sauna, a steam room, and a hot pool. There's a mini football pitch, and upstairs, a prayer room. Everything in the house points at one idea: stay ready. But Mane did something with his money that none of the others did. While other players were spending it on lakes and bowling alleys, Sadio Mane spent around $500,000 building a hospital for his home village in Senegal. A real hospital for people who had nothing. So yeah, the mansion is stunning, but the best thing this man ever built wasn't in Riyadh at all. 11. Raheem Sterling. His landlord is the king. This one you genuinely could not make up. Raheem Sterling is building a brand new mansion in Ascot, reported at $9 million when finished. Sounds standard for a footballer, until you find out who owns the land. The plot belongs to the Crown Estate, which means Sterling leased it from the royal family. In other words, King Charles is his landlord. Most people send their rent to a letting agency. Raheem Sterling sends his to a literal king. And the house lives up to the postcode. 5 bedrooms with a basement doing all the heavy lifting, an underground pool, a bowling alley, a cinema, and a master bedroom that opens onto the Berkshire countryside. Not bad for a kid who grew up a very long way from royal land. 12. Harry Kane, the palace in Surrey. Harry Kane plays in Germany for Bayern Munich now, but back in Surrey, he's building something for when he returns. He bought the land and the original house for around $8 million, then knocked the whole thing down and started again. What's going up is a neo-Georgian mansion so grand that one neighbor told the papers it looks like Buckingham Palace. Reported value around $25 million. And underneath all that royal styling, the basement is pure footballer. A private cinema, a swimming pool, a bar for guests, and a full gym. Kane spent his whole career chasing trophies abroad, but make no mistake, this palace in Surrey is where he's planning to land. 13. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He bought a church. Only one footballer would look at the entire housing market and decide a normal mansion isn't grand enough for him. Zlatan Ibrahimovic bought a church, an actual former church in Stockholm, for around $8.5 million, which he set about converting into a home. A man who once said he was sent from the heavens, who now literally lives in a house of God. Other players buy a mansion. Zlatan bought the kind of building you get married in. You couldn't script it better if you tried. And this is just how Zlatan buys property. Years earlier, he wanted a particular mansion back in Malmo that wasn't even for sale. So he knocked on the door, looked at the people living there, and in his own words told them, "We're here because you're living in our house. I'm serious. I'm gonna buy this house." And he did. Most people browse listings. Zlatan just informs you that your home is now his. 14. Gareth Bale, the house with its own golf course. Gareth Bale's mansion in the Welsh countryside is worth around $4 million, which by this list is almost modest. But it's not the house that matters here. It's the back garden. Because Bale built himself a 3-hole golf course behind his house, and he didn't just put in any holes. He had exact replicas made of 3 of the most famous holes on the planet. The 17th at Sawgrass, the 8th at Royal Troon, and the 12th at Augusta National. This is the same man who once held up a flag at international duty that read Wales, Golf, Madrid in that order. Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world, came 3rd on his list, behind golf. So when he got the chance, he built his true love straight into his back garden. The footballer who loved golf so much he turned his home into a country club. 15. Sergio Ramos, the estate with the best horse in the world. And we finish in the Spanish countryside, because Sergio Ramos didn't want a city mansion at all. He wanted land. His SR4 estate near Seville sprawls across 44 hectares, with a 13,000 square meter house, a paddle court, its own football pitch, and a working stud farm. And living on it is Yucatan, a horse so good he was named the best in the world. Ramos doesn't just own a stable, he owns a champion. And then he did something only Ramos could. To get the estate exactly how he wanted it, he cut down a row of centuries-old oak trees on the property. The problem? They were protected. So Sergio Ramos, one of the most decorated defenders in history, got hit with a $250,000 fine for chopping down ancient trees in his own garden. Even at home, the man cannot stop committing fouls. So there it is. Private islands, illegal lakes, royal landlords, a church, a back garden golf course, and a man who built a hospital instead of another wing. So tell me, which one would you actually want to live in? Ronaldo's private island where nobody can find you? Or Holland's house where the kitchen never closes? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this one, you already know what to do.